absolutely disagree with this decision, Skip. I can see if the game was back and forth, Skip, and it was a 45-44 ball game. Okay, you're like, our defense hadn't stopped them all day. But, Skip, at this point, the defense had only given up 20 points. If you give up 20 points in today's game, you're going to win a lot of games, Skip Bayless. And that's what the Carolina Panthers defense had given up to that point. Ron, for you to say, oh, I'm playing to win. Well, then why don't you go for 2 every time? So let me get this straight. You play for the win on the road, but you play for the tie at home? Because I noticed you lined up. What you do, you rob the kicker of confidence. Is that you're like, we don't have any confidence that you can make this PAT here because you missed one earlier and you missed the field goal. I get it, but he's also won you a game or 2 by kicking last-second field goals. I don't get this call considering, and it wasn't like, you know, you guys were lighting it up like it was a surefire thing, like you had scored 40-plus points, but the defense had played too well, kicked the field goal. Skip, you don't always have to try to be the hero by being aggressive. Sometimes you can play and let your defense. What happens if, you know, you get the tie and your defense get a pick or they force a turnover? You took that out of their hands. And I know that when the guy was wide open, that's besides the point. For me, I don't look at the outcome and say, well, if Cam makes this throw, it was a great call. Because he missed it, it was a wrong call. I first, second, third, and fifth guessed it. I just thought at this juncture of the game, given with how well the defense had played, and then how ineffective, because think about it, you only had 19 points with a little over a minute left in the ball game. So it wasn't like the offense was marching up and down the field. And it's not like you got a Julio or a Gronk, a healthy Gronk. Look who he was throwing to, Skip. Really? I don't agree with this call, and I know sometimes, Skip, sometimes we try to live up to the nickname that we've gotten. Riverboat Ron. Oh, you know, Ron Rivera, he'll go for it. But I just believe in this situation, he was wrong.
Skip?
I love this decision by Ron Rivera, and I immediately tweeted that I love the decision. So I obviously didn't play pro football, but I learned pro football from number 1, Bill Walsh, number 2, Jimmy Johnson, number 3, Tom Landry. And it used to be a golden rule in football, long before you even played it, that on the road you go for 2. And in this age of third-level statistics, they'll show you that the percentages are pretty good of making it when you go for 2. So this wasn't about the field goal kicker missing a point or missing a field goal. This was about whose hands are you going to put the ball in? Is there a better 2-point conversion maker in the NFL than Cam Newton, in your opinion? Like if you're going to have to give the football to somebody and let somebody make a play and live up to his nickname, which happens to be Superman, I'm going to put the ball in Cam's hands. To that point, he had thrown for 357 yards.
Correct.
Arguably, he was having his best game of the year. He's had some pretty good ones.
Yep.
And DJ Moore, as we talked about earlier, had caught 7 for 157. So the offense is cooking at a pretty high level. And Cam Newton, as we know, can run with the football and run over people if he needs to get into the end zone to win the football game.
Okay.
So my problem was not with the decision to go for it and live up to your nickname, Riverboat Ron. I think you're actually playing the percentages to let Cam Newton make that play. So then what happened on that play, if we could see it one more time? He's got forever to throw the football. He's got nothing but time, and he waits, and he waits, and he waits. And it surprised me that if he didn't love what he saw, why didn't he just take off?
Yeah.
Just take off and get a little head of steam and see if you can run over a linebacker and get in the end zone, because I have seen him do that before. Maybe bolt to your left, bolt, right? Just bolt.
But here's my argument to you, Skip. Let me ask you a question. So in that situation, they'd put the ball on the 2-yard line. Is that the way they always put it? So if that's the case, why not go for it every time? You got Cam Superman. Is he only Superman in that situation, or is he always Superman?
You know, there have been those who have proposed that you should go for it every time. Some of those third-level stats guys, the nerds, will say you should go for it every time.
Well,
You'll score more points that way than kicking single points.
They look at it if you miss it the first time and get it the second time, you still no harm, no foul because you're at 14. But I just feel, especially if you go for it too early, Skip, you always have to chase it.
Okay.
You're forever chasing
that's
the
fine.
points.
That's fine. But this is do or die on the road crowd. If you lose the toss and the crowd gets behind you and they go down and score a touchdown,
But Skip, think about it, though. The defense had only given up 20 points at that point. It wasn't like there was there are some games, Skip, where we see Coach Belichick in the famous game when they play in New England, and he goes for it on fourth down in his own territory. He's like, because we can't stop them. Now, they had the lead, but it's like if we punt this ball, they're going to come right back down the field anyway. I get that. That was a 38-35 ball game, something like that. But in a 19-20 ball game, so the defenses had played very well. I'm going to play the percentages. I'm going to kick the field goal. I'm going to trust that my field goal kicker is going to make the PAT, and I'm going to trust Luke Kuechly and those guys to stop him.
Are you saying you don't trust Cam Newton in that situation?
No, well, if I trust him in that situation, I should trust him in all 2-point situations. Every time they score a touchdown, I should trust Cam more than I trust a kicker. That's what you're telling me right now.
What did Dougie P say after the Super Bowl? You got to keep going for it. Am I right?
Skip.
He wrote a book called Fearless.
That was a different situation because, again, Tom Brady had threw him for 505 yards. They were already over 600. He's saying if we punt this ball, we're down. That means they're going to go back down the field because we can't stop them. Tom Brady had gotten his momentum. He had gotten his mojo back. And it's like, no, it's either do or die. But plus, that was a 31-32 ball game. So Dougie P said, nah, bro, we got to go for this. So he ended up going for it. They got the touchdown. They missed the 2-point conversion because they wanted to make a 2-point game, 38-31. They stripped Tom to kick a field goal, 48-33. But okay, that's a whole different scenario, Skip.
But he ripped Doug Marrone for playing not to lose
What
at Foxborough in the AFC
Doug
Championship
Marrone
game.
chicken. Doug Marrone chicken.
Chicken. Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
And did you see yesterday? Did you see yesterday? 16-point lead, start the fourth quarter. Doug Marrone, what did he do? Blake Bortles had 10 completions. Let's not, so absolute. Did he lie? See, sometimes we get caught up to how he said it. Did he lie? Doug Marrone was scared. Should have bought him a dog.
What did I look up? I don't have the stat right in front of me, but didn't Blake Bortles in the fourth quarter at Foxborough AFC Championship game, didn't he throw like 8 passes in the fourth quarter? It wasn't like they just tried to sit on the lead.
Well, yeah.
20-10, he kept throwing passes.
Yeah, second and 10, second and 12, third and 8. Yeah, of course he's going to throw it. What did he do yesterday in the fourth quarter? He had a 16-point lead, Skip Bayless. That's what the defense spotted Blake Bortles to start the fourth quarter. 16 points. Tell the people what he do at home.
Well, you tell him.
You know. That's your guy. Oh, but see what you do, you turn around, that's the same guy that threw for 378 yards against Bill Belichick.
He did. I think it was 373.
Oh, okay. Well, all he needed yesterday was 273 and they'd have won. And what he get?
Well, you told me they were dead in the water and that they had no shot, and they should have won that game.
No, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Not with Blake Bortles. Blake Horribles? Nope, not happening.
Cam Newton deserved to have the ball in his hands. Cam Newton just made a bad decision on top of a bad throw.
The ball should have been on Graham Gano's foot. Because under that scenario, what Ron Rivera just shared with us, they should go for it every time.
That's not true.
Why not?
It's road. It's good. It's do or die.
Okay,
Put the ball in Superman's hands.
Why not go? So you don't want it in his hand at home? I would think I'd want it in his hand at home in front of the home crowd so he can do this. Oh, that's what I want. I mean, that's just me.
Okay, well, you could do it at home or road.
No.
Both.
But why don't they? So I wouldn't even bring my PAT. I wouldn't even bring my kicker out there. So if that's the case, don't you want the ball in Tom Brady's hand? Don't you want the ball in Drew Brees' hand or Pat Mahomes' boys? But what do? They don't go for it. They go for 2 if they have to.
They're only 2 for 5 on 2-point conversions.
Thank you. So what's the percentage of Skip Bayless?
Well, that's this year. I can do your big picture, and it's much better.
No.
It's 50%. You're 50-50 to make that.
They're not 50%. I don't know about everybody else. I don't worry about them. I'm talking about what are we? What are we in 2018?
I think you're telling me Cam Newton can't get it done.
No. See,
seriously.
No.
I'm saying I want the ball in that man's hands.
He done his job. He had gotten them down the field and gotten them in the end zone. Now it's up to the kicker to do his job.
Okay,
by booting the ball
when the ball was snapped, what did you think the percentage was of Cam Newton getting the ball across the goal line?
Well, I didn't like it, so I said they should have kicked the field goal, so I thought it was 0.
Okay. 0?
Yeah.
Well, then you have no respect for Cam Newton.
I got the utmost respect, but I also have respect for Graham Gano.
I would have said it was 60-40. Cam gets it across the goal line.
Cam should not have even been in that situation. Just kick the PAT and trust your defense.
Do you think Cam loved it that the coach said, "You're my man"? Yep.
first of all, they gave Cam got a big long contract. They've already said, Cam, you're our guy. Cam, you're the face of this franchise. He got that gold captaincy on his chest. Cam, you're our guy. So I don't need you to call a play. I don't need you to run a play for me to understand that I'm your guy. I know what I am.
Easy 2020 hindsight on the part of the Hall of Fame.
No. I don't do hindsight. Nope.
Yeah,
I'm perfect.
You're
in the
great
punt.
at hindsight.
No, Skip. I first guessed it. Just kick the PAT. It wasn't a 39-38 ball game, Skip.
Way to go, Riverboat.
We're going to move on to what we saw last night. Are the Bears now in control of the NFC North? Unfortunately for me, that might be the case. We'll discuss.